The Cleveland Browns defeat the Tennessee Titans 41-35, and with this win, they move to 9-3 on the season, and they are on their way to making it to the playoffs for the first time since 2002, which ironically was the year I was born. So for the Cleveland Browns, they played a really great game against Tennessee. Now, last time I checked, the game was 41-28, I believe. I don't know what happened after that because I turned the game to watch the remaining seconds of the New York Jets and Las Vegas Raiders, which the Las Vegas Raiders were able to hang on. But something told me, JT, just hang on for a few more seconds. Don't change the channel yet. So I guess while I was watching the Raiders and Jets game, the Tennessee Titans was somehow able to score one more touchdown, make this game fairly close, which came down to an offside kick, which ended up getting recovered by Tennessee. But nonetheless, the Browns are 9-3, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have thought that the Browns will be in a position that they will go into December and start December off with a 9-3 record? Now, I knew heading into the season that the Browns were going to make it to the playoffs, and I was arguing with people all this off season about the Browns making it to the playoffs because everybody's like, JT, man, you're really going to trust the Cleveland Browns making it to the playoffs once again? You said the Browns were going to make it to the playoffs last season, and I said, guess what? I think the Browns are going to make it to the playoffs once again. If I'm wrong again, I'm wrong again. But this goes to show you how much coaching in the NFL matters. Last year, the Browns had a good team. And they had a good team last year. And you want to know why they missed the playoffs last year compared to them on pace making it to the playoffs this year? Coaching. That goes to show you it doesn't matter how good of a team that you think that you have to have a good coach. And we're talking about the Coach of the Year candidates. We're talking about guys like Mike Tomlin. We're talking about guys like Kyle Shanahan. But Kevin Stefanski has to be in that discussion. When you look at what Kevin Stefanski has done as a head coach for Cleveland, he's on pace to get in the Browns to the playoffs for the first time since I was born. Okay, he's on pace to break in one of the longest playoff droughts in the NFL. You have to have Kevin Stefanski in your Coach of the Year discussion. Now for Tennessee, man, same problems that has plagued them all this season is the reason why they lost this game. They can't get off the field on third down. The Browns were 10-16 on third down today. Tennessee was 2-10. And if you want to consider yourself a playoff caliber football team, you have to be able to get off the field on third down. And I just don't see how a team like Tennessee that struggles to get pressure on the quarterback, that struggles to get off the field on third down, can have a lot of success come the postseason. The Browns were not only 10-16 on third down, but Baker Mayfield didn't get sacked once. So when you're Tennessee, you don't have a pass rush. Your secondary hasn't really been all that great, despite being one of the most talented secondaries in the NFL. And you can't get off the field on third down. Tennessee is going to make it to the playoffs. But I don't think Tennessee is going to have the postseason run that they had last season for the various issues that I just mentioned. You can't get off the field on third down, and your pass rush hasn't been there. Now you look at Cleveland, Baker Mayfield played the best game of his NFL career. 25 of 33, 334 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, Baker Mayfield, man, a lot of people were saying that this was a career-defining game for Baker Mayfield. This was going to be the game that was going to show the Browns if Baker Mayfield was the guy to lead this franchise for the next 9-10 years. And Baker Mayfield delivered. One thing that you have to give your hats off to Baker Mayfield is that when the pressure is on, Baker Mayfield comes through. He does. And a lot of people don't give Baker Mayfield the credit that he deserves. When the pressure is on and Baker Mayfield has performed, he performs. Okay? And that is a really great trait that you want out of your franchise quarterback. When the lights are on bright and when the pressure is on, despite how you guys may feel about Baker Mayfield, one thing that you can't deny is that Baker Mayfield showed out and he delivered when the Browns needed him to deliver. So you look at Baker Mayfield, man, without a doubt, he showed me that he is the guy to lead this Cleveland Browns franchise for the next years to come. And when you look at the Browns, with the 9-3 record, you now put yourself in position to not only make it to the playoffs, but to have a home field wild card game. And this is really big for the Browns. The fact that they are going to have a chance to have a home field playoff game in the wild card instead of going on the road is big. Now, for Tennessee, Derrick Henry got stopped today, man. 15 carries, 60 rushing yards, and a fumble. And I'm be honest, if I wasn't playing a scrub in my fantasy football league, Derrick Henry's performance could have costed me today. So you look at Tennessee, they had to rely on Ryan Tannehill, which Ryan Tannehill had a pretty good game as well. 389 pass yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But at the end of the day, that is not the identity of this Tennessee Titans football team. The Tennessee Titans want to beat you running the football. And they weren't able to do that. They only had 62 rushing yards as a team today. And for the Browns, they had 118. Nick Chubb had 18 carries for 80 rushing yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt had 33 rushing yards for 14 carries. The Browns are the last team that you want to face at this time of the NFL season. When you're trying to make a playoff push, the Browns have to play the Giants, the Ravens, and the Steelers, and the Jets to close out their season. As a Steeler fan, I'm really concerned about the Cleveland Browns. Everybody keeps talking about Washington pulling off the upset. Depending on when you watch this video, Washington either beats Pittsburgh or they don't. But if you're a Steelers fan like myself, I don't want to play the Cleveland Browns. This is the last team that you want to play in the month of November. A team that can gas you running the football. And with the way this team is playing, I tell people this all the time. The real NFL season begins after Thanksgiving. And I told people the Browns were a good team. Everybody's going to say, well, JT, the Browns are such a good team. They got blowed out by the Ravens the first time they played. They got blowed out by Pittsburgh. But nobody mentions how they defeated the Indianapolis Colts at the start of the year. Nobody talks about that. And the Colts are a playoff football team. Nobody talks about the Browns win against the Colts. So I look at the Browns. You have the Browns on your schedule in the month of December. That is not a good thing. Because in December, this is where teams start to reach their stride. This is where teams start to get hot. And like Tennessee last year, Tennessee got boiling hot in December. And we saw what happened once they got to the playoffs. So if you have the Cleveland Browns coming up on your schedule, this is the last team that you want to play. And if you have to play the Browns in the playoffs, this is the last team that you want to play in the playoffs. Because the Browns are scorching hot. To remind you that the Browns still are having a couple of their key guys out. Denzel Ward is going to get healthy. They're going to get some more guys back. So the Browns are going to be a really tough out for anybody they face in the playoffs. And if you're the Baltimore Ravens and you're the New York Giants and you are a team that is trying to make a late season playoff push and your playoffs basically start in December, the Browns are the last team that you want to play. So you look at the Cleveland Browns, man. I can't be nothing but proud, and I can't be nothing but impressed. And remind you that even though I chose Tennessee to win the game, I chose the Cleveland Browns to cover the spread. The Cleveland Browns were a 5.5 point underdog, and the Cleveland Browns covering that 5.5 point spread was my lock of the week. That's why you guys have to watch the live stream. That's why if you guys haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, because you would have watched my Cleveland Browns versus Tennessee Titans preview and prediction. You would have known that even though I chose the Tennessee Titans to win outright, I chose the Browns to cover the spread, and I said I would not be surprised if the Browns win this game. So if you listen to me and you chose Cleveland with the underdog, with the points, 5.5, you should be cashing in right now. And I'm not trying to boast anything like that, but I haven't really been keeping tally. But I think I'm over 6% this year against the spread, maybe better. So you look at Cleveland right now, man. Cleveland is a really good football team, and they're getting hot. A lot of people are bashing Baker Mayfield because of the terrible stats that he had and the terrible weather that Cleveland was playing in. Baker Mayfield is proving a lot of people wrong. Okay, and you look at Tennessee. This is still a really good football team. This is still a team that is most likely going to make it to the playoffs. But if you're Tennessee, if you want to make it to the playoffs, or if you want to have a playoff run, you have a lot of issues that you have to fix. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think Tennessee is going to be able to fix them. I think Tennessee, at best, makes it to the divisional round. And then they don't go no further than that. Because it's okay, as a Titan fan, you can say, well, JT, we still have a couple of weeks left in the regular season to get these things figured out. I mean, you do, but let's be honest. If you haven't been able to stop teams on third down and you haven't been able to get pressure on the quarterback all season, it's not really anything that you can really do to make me believe that you're going to be able to have that turned around in, 3-4 weeks left of the NFL season. So, as a Tennessee Titans fan, I can understand the optimism, but let's be real. Tennessee isn't a team that's going to be able to make a deep run in the playoffs like they did last year, because you can't get pressure on the quarterback and you can't get off the field on third down, and both those things kind of go hand in hand. The teams that are able to get off the field on third down are the teams that the majority of times are able to get pressure on the quarterback, and Tennessee can't do neither one of those things. And their secondary, although they do have talent there, for some reason isn't playing up to the level of talent that they have. So for Tennessee, this is a playoff team without a doubt. They're going to make it to the playoffs, but I doubt Tennessee really has a playoff run they have this season like they had last year in 2019. So the Browns are 9-3, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think about the Cleveland Browns down in the comment section down below. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thank you for watching.